Hello everybody, it's Mark Maxwell once again with our Legends series, and today I could call you the Queen of Rock and Roll of Louisville.
You could if you want to.
I'm gonna say that. The Queen of Rock and Roll in Louisville, Kentucky area, Sherry Edwards. Hello, Sherry.
Hello, Mark.
How are you?
I'm great. Great to be here.
Sherry, you're my first female legend on the show. A bunch of guys have come before so far, but I can't tell you how many people have said to me, when are you going to have Sherry on? Sherry's a legend. I'm like, I know that. She's on my list, but I wanted to, there's so many guys compared to women that came from that era, where today, half the people that walk in this door are girls anymore.
Right.
Playing rock and roll, singing and playing. It's fantastic. And we know, matter of fact, we have a bedroom set up in this store that is a scene of a boy's bedroom. We're changing that to a girl's bedroom.
Awesome.
Just because there's so many guitar players and singers that are coming in here, they're female. Anyway, tell me about you.
Okay. Well, I started singing very young, and I traveled with USO when I was 12 years old, and that's how I actually got singing.
So I got to tell Brooks, because he's young. He has no idea. USO. They used to do these tours where they would take folks from the States and take them all over the place to entertain the troops.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you were a USO singer, that was really cool. They would literally fly you places, and you would go and entertain the troops.
We flew from New Brunswick, Maine to New Mexico to Texas, and we had a very, very young troop. I was 12, 13, 14 years old while I was doing that.
Right.
And then I moved on and got with my first band when I was 14.
Where would you grow up?
I grew up here in Louisville.
You did?
In the South End.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Your first band at 14.
My first band at 14. They were called the Rogues. And the guitar player's name was David Hess. Some of you probably still remember him.
Right.
His dad used to cart us around in a station wagon, and we'd play a VFW post, and I think we made $6 the first job.
Fantastic.
But anyway, I
made $12.50
well,
on
there
my
you
first
go.
gig.
See, yeah, inflation.
That was only a couple of years later. But anyway, so you started there. There you go. You're playing in the Rogue. Then what?
Well, and then I went on to some other bands. I went on to the Aztecs and the Chateaus. I was with the Epics for like a minute.
Right.
But then I met Gary Edwards in the summer of my junior year of 1965. And Gary and I were married right after my senior year in 1966.
Wow. So what a lot of people don't know was Gary Edwards.
Gary Edwards was
big entertainer in this town.
He was one of the finest male singer entertainers that ever came out of here.
I agree
Mark.
with that. Yeah,
He really was.
I know that because I remember him as a kid
Yeah.
and thinking, this guy's a real deal.
He was the real deal,
Yeah.
and we were very different in our styles, and that's what made us, I think, so popular with people. We were kind of the Sonny and Cher of the area back then. You know.
Sonny and Cher, by the way. If you don't know who they are, you should look them up too.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Google Sonny and Cher.
Google Sonny and Cher.
But anyway, Gary actually went to Vietnam in 1968, and I had to take over the band, so it became Sherry Edwards and the Embers. It was first Gary Edwards and the Embers featuring Sherry Edwards, then it became Sherry Edwards and the Embers, and so I had to take over the band and run the band until he came back at the ripe old age of about 20.
Wow.
So that's what I did.
Incredible.
And then Gary came back, and then we changed the name to Sage. Now, look what happens here. Sage was S period, A period, G period, E period, which was Sherry and Gary Edwards.
I never put that together. I know about that, but I never put that together.
Yeah, so anyway, that's who we were, for the longest time.
Yeah.
And, but then, things trickled away, and Gary and I split up. But Gary kept the name Sage, and that that was a name that everybody knew.
Sure, yeah, it was a good
here.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went on though, and I was with the heavyweights, with Jerry Kirk and the heavyweights. Anyway, I ended up in New Orleans in 1973.
Wow.
So I lived down there until 1980.
Wow.
So I missed the whole 70s here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Really,
Yeah.
But I had bands down there, and
Then you came back here in '80. Then
I
what'd you
came
do?
back here in '80, and half of the band from New Orleans came with me.
Really?
Yeah, they all moved up here. And
Are they any of them still around here?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. One
I
is,
didn't
but
notice at all.
none of them play anymore.
Right, yeah, I get it.
But one still lives here. Anyway, so I came back up here, dragging a 4-year-old and playing music
Wow.
for a living.
Hey, I got to say this real quick though. If you haven't seen Sherry sing and entertain, I mean, everybody should go watch, because it's so dynamic, and you're a lioness. Like, you're not, there's nothing pretentious about you. There is nothing that I watch and go, it is so natural seeping from you that you want to entertain people. It's amazing to me.
Well, thank you.
And there's just, and it's like you have no fear. Do you have fear?
Well, sure, you always have fear of not being able to deliver, or somebody walking away going, oh, she doesn't really have it anymore, you know.
Well, you still
But-
have it, because I've seen you recently,
but-
and I'm telling you, it's like you just push the gas pedal down and you just go.
Well, that's the only way I know how to do it, Mark. That was the only way I ever knew how to do it. And that was the difference a little bit between Gary and I. Gary was more of a, a floor show band kind of thing, and I was definitely more rock and roll, more R&B. I just only knew how to do it one way, and that's the way I did it.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely soulful when you sing, and it's apparent that you've sang a song or two in your life. 80s come, you start playing again around here.
Yeah, I played around here. 6 nights a week. I raised a kid.
Once again, 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
People don't even understand
They don't
what that is.
understand that, no.
It's so weird, because
Yeah.
that was that generation of, there was always places to play, and it was
There
all the time.
was, yeah, and I traveled some, but I played music 6 nights a week. Raised a kid, put braces on his teeth, sent him to Trinity, and
Wow.
you know,
My son went to Trinity too.
so
So you've played music with, like right now you sit in with the Wolf Brothers all the time.
well, yeah.
Are you part of that? What is that?
I was part of that.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, Paul came to me, and I didn't have a band anymore. I actually hung up the Sherry Edwards shoes in 1997.
Wow.
When I was turning 50, and I did not want to
I
be.
thought you were 50 now.
Well, I am.
Okay, good.
But I just did not want to be. I was so tired of nightclubs,
Yeah.
and I was so tired of. I just was tired of it.
I get it.
So I sort of sold the truck, sold the lights, sold the equipment, all of that stuff, and said, "Well, I'm not going to do this anymore." Right.
Right. Right.
So it wasn't 3 months later till some people drug me back into a blues band, and it was Jay Comstock and Jimmy Gardner and,
Oh, my.
and Jeff McAllister.
Oh, my.
And we
Yeah, just swing for the fence, will you?
yeah, so we had this little blues band, and we called ourselves the Soul Impalers.
Yes.
And we played around for about 5 years. It was a great little band and had a lot of fun with it. But it wasn't a steady thing,
I get it.
And then Paul was wanting to make some transitions in the Wolf Brothers at
Yeah.
that time. And he wanted to get into more heavy duty one-nighters.
Yeah.
So we became the Wolfpack. So myself, Napoleon Edmondson,
Yes.
and Freddie Helm
Yes.
joined the Wolf Brothers, and then we became the Wolfpack.
Yes.
And we were quite the deal.
Oh, yes.
We
Oh,
were
yeah.
a show band,
Right.
and we did a lot of things, much like the Crashers.
Yeah. Yep.
Only in a different
Yeah,
era.
I totally get it.
Yeah, and we did that for quite some time until that kind of ran its course, and then they of course started in with the school thing. They've
Oh,
been,
my.
and they were so busy with that, and so now I still do some things with the Wolf Brothers. I just recently was invited to do something in Lebanon, Kentucky, with the Wolf Brothers and the Doo-Wops, and it was for Elmer George, who
Oh, yes.
is the nephew of Hyleen George, who owned Club 68.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so in Lebanon, Kentucky, there was this club. There were several clubs.
Yeah,
Really
Golden
strange.
Horseshoe and-
yeah, the
yeah.
Golden Horseshoe
In Club 68.
and Club 68. And I'm telling Brooks this because he's a young punk. Dude, it was There was nothing like it.
It was Sin City.
It was Sin City. That's exactly it. And now, I only played there once, and I actually think it was with Wayne Young. I don't even remember what happened, but I just remember playing there with him, and I don't. So, but bottom line gets down to that Lebanon.
Well, I used to always tell people that I went to college at the Golden Horseshoe. And that's
what
where that's,
yeah.
that's where we played all the time in the 60s. Gary and I did especially, and I had played there before with the Aztecs, but I mean literally in the 60s, you would walk across the street and see Ike and Tina Turner.
Right.
You know, I mean
Yes.
that's just the era of what it was
Right.
back then, and that's a cool thing to cut your teeth on.
Oh my.
You know.
Oh.
But anyway, this particular thing, I was just invited to be there. And I got up and sang some songs, and it turned out to be a pretty big deal.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there were a lot of people in this age group, you know,
Yes.
in their 50s.
Yes. Yes. Good girl. See, I'm teaching you here something here. I got you.
That were very, very excited that I was there, and I had a great time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. It was
You know,
great.
it's funny because you were there, and my accountant is Joe George,
Okay.
right? Who's a relative,
Okay.
and he told me all about it. And,
Oh, okay.
And so, yes, great.
It was a
big-
fun time, and I'm invited back next year.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to do it again next year with
Good,
them.
yeah. Well, listen, so to see you, you don't have a Sherry Edwards website, right? There's
No.
It's kind of it's a weird thing to figure out where you're going to play, but I think most of the time the Wolf Brothers will put it on their site.
They will, and like I just did the Middletown Festival with them, and that's been an ongoing thing. I don't know, 10 or 12 years we've done it, and Middletown Festival wants me there.
Yes.
So I always do that with them.
right.
And they have a few other jobs that they play, and people will actually request me. And then Paula say, well, it's one price for the Wolf Brothers, and it's another price with the Wolf Brothers and Sherry
Edwards, that's
you know.
right. Yeah, sure.
So, but you know, that works out well because I do not want to be committed anymore to do that. I'm a real estate agent now and have been for 20 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's what
That's what you do.
That's what I
you
do. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you sing.
But I sing, and I still enjoy it.
Listen,
you know.
you're a singer. That's what you do. And listen, if you get a chance, just try to find the Wolf Brothers somewhere, and Cher will probably be singing at some point with them. It's amazing to watch domination of the stage without it being, like I said, it's just like you walk up, it's a really fun time, you know how to really entertain people, and you sing your butt off. And you always take me to school every time, because it's even what you say in between the songs. It's how you treat everybody in the crowd between the songs that I have learned so much about, right?
Well, thanks.
And so that's what you do. And so our legend, Sherry Edwards, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having
Seriously.
me. I mean, this is great fun. And it's great to be it's always great to be recognized at your job.
Well, yeah, well, you deserve it big time. I'm going to tell you right now, and everybody knows it. At least they do now. Lots of people know who you are in this town, but there's a lot of people that don't, and I want to get them to know who you are. So,
well, thank you.
Just keep swinging it and singing, swinging and singing. That's what you do.
Well, I'm a fan of yours.
Well, thank you. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.